Thank you for being there.
Man, them jokers was big, size of a quarter doggone.
Many said it sounded like nothing they've ever heard before.
He said, Kapuya, Kapuya.
Kapuya.
And your boy, that hell just came in. I opened my door, and I looked out my door and started hitting me in my head. I took out running, ran to my restroom, and then I called my mama to see was she all right.
Folks were told
You
to
always
stay
gotta
off
check on
roadways
mama.
unless absolutely, positively necessary. But they still came out to places like the Circle K gas station.
I want a donut.
I didn't make anybody stay here until 7 a.m. or 11 or whenever it is everybody finally left. I didn't make this kid pass out on my floor. People wanted to be here. That was their decision.
Oh,
Sure, that's not
bro,
Dahmer?
it's just like, dude, you get the best
Let this
barrels
kid
ever, dude.
pass out on my floor.
Pull in, and you just get spit right out of them. You just drop in and just smack the lip. Whoop-ah, drop down, snap, and then after that, you just drop in, you just ride the barrel and get pitted, so pitted like that.
And nobody can tell a story like an East Coast surfer, huh?
You gotta understand. We're on a mission from God.
All right, man. On a mission from God. It's Sal, Patrick, and David. I switched it up today, Patrick.
SPD.
SPD.
We're on a mission from God.
We're kind of off the rails today. There's no Aaron today. He's gone up to Oregon to go crabbing.
You know, what the band that
Again, that guy spends more time on vacation than your current resident in chief.
Yeah, right.
What we're asking Matt here to do is a holy thing. See, we're on a mission from God.
Sal is retired, I believe, and doesn't go on vacation that much, right?
Absolutely not. Although going back to England in November.
Oh, are you? Awesome.
Yeah.
Are you playing with, I'm trying to think of the name. Pretty Boy Floyd.
Actually, no. Actually, this year,
miles
I'm playing with a California band.
Got a full tank of gas,
Really?
half a pack of cigarettes.
They're
It's dark,
called Monkey.
and we're wearing.
All right, well, let's talk about that in a second here.
Lord works in mysterious ways.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep. Strike out the band, Sal.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
See? I finally got to do it for Sal.
Oh, good.
That's our opening. That's our opening every week. Strike up the pen, Sal.
For Sal and with Sal. So,
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's right.
I love this little song. You know this song, right, Patrick? Besides being our opener, right?
Of course. I mean, if anybody is my age at 43 hasn't seen the Blues Brothers, then yeah, they're kind of
No, I'm talking about Jesus is a friend of mine.
Oh yeah, or Jesus is just all right with me. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
I can't.
Yeah, Sal's in the Doobie Brothers.
Yeah, right.
Well, I can't hear what's going on because I got this mixing going on in the background too.
Oh, got to get your plug in too. I see. Oh, he just muted his mic. Garrett, now he's back. All right.
If I'm not careful, they're going to be hair plugs because I'm thinning out right there.
Well, I keep telling you, you could go the Bret Michaels route and just wear that bandana, like even in the hospital when you're dying in bed, just wear the bandana.
Here in Kentucky, it's not widely accepted to look different.
Oh, okay.
So.
All right. Well, this show's gone off the rails, and I don't really have an outline for today's show, so I have a feeling that it's going to go just kind of in all directions. But I am so happy to have Sal here with us. And what have you been doing, man, since the last time we talked to you? I know you went to England again to play a show.
Yeah, we went last November. I was supposed to play with the Scapones.
The Scapones, that's the band out there.
But now, of course, going to England last year was tough because COVID was still kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And before I got on the plane at Kennedy, I had to show them that I had an appointment to take a COVID test when I got off the plane.
Oh, wow.
So I had to book a COVID test at the airport in Heathrow at London. That was $100.
Wow.
And then I had to book a test 3 days before we came home. That was another $100. So before I got on the plane at Kennedy, I had to show them I had these appointments, and I had to fill out a passenger locator form with the addresses of all the places we were staying.
Oh, you're kidding.
Now, needless to say, when we got there, Friday night, the first two bands that were supposed to play on Friday had to cancel because someone in each band tested positive for COVID.
Oh.
So the band that was supposed to be the third band got there early, and they said, can you guys set up and play now? so they did. And Saturday morning, we went some local sightseeing, and we got back, and we found out when we got back that the leader of the Scapones, Paul Williams, who also runs the festival, tested positive for COVID that morning.
Oh, no.
So he was in a separate cottage, quarantined.
Wow.
So it's okay. So what are you guys going to do? And the guitar player is, okay, we're going to put together an all-star band and just play a bunch of covers, ska covers.
Cool.
And you know what? It was a lot of fun.
Nice.
Because I sang, I don't know many ska songs, but I sang a couple. I played a couple of their songs, and it was a lot of fun because I got to play with a bunch of musicians that I've known for years, but never got the chance to play with.
So you guys were just kind of jamming then?
More or less. And the crowd certainly understood.
Yeah.
And they appreciated the fact that everybody was up there at the same time, and we all tried, and it really was a lot of fun.
You know, it's really
So
kind of
basically
cool.
you got paid to go to England to have a jam session. That is like, that's amazing.
Actually, I paid.
He does.
They put me up for the weekend, but I had to fly myself there.
Oh, well, that sounds about like us musicians.
Yeah, and Sal does it out of the goodness of his own heart.
It's for a charity. It's for a cancer charity. So, and in fact, the irony of the whole thing is that that Paul Williams, that runs the thing, his 30-year-old daughter just tested positive. Was just diagnosed with cervical cancer.
Oh no!
I'm just going to open my mouth and insert foot all afternoon. I see, so I'm just going to shut up now.
Yeah, so that's kind of sad. So when I told people I was going to go, also I was going to come this year. Now the group Monkey, they're out in California.
Mm-hmm.
I met them. I met Curtis Meacham because he had a podcast. He was doing a podcast, and he got in touch with me. He says, "Would you like to be on our show?" I said, "Sure." And it was one of those things. Well, if you ever come to California, if I ever go to the West Coast, I've got 100 places to visit.
Right.
And then about a month or so ago, I got a private textbook message from one of the guys in Monkey who said, are you coming to the festival? I heard you're coming to the festival this year. And I said, yeah, I am. And they offered to me, Jay, if we learn your song, would you want to play it with us? But sure. I mean, yeah. I don't go there with a band. So every year I go, there's got to be somebody that I'm going to have to crash their set. But they offered. I says, okay, fine. Well, we'll have a Zoom rehearsal and we'll figure it out.
Hey, Patrick, can Sal come and crash your set?
If Sal's up to come crash my set, you are welcome anytime, Sal. Anytime.
You might have to do some ska, but you know.
Yeah, I usually do a lot of yelling and aggressive singing, so we'll do ska.
Well, my band, One Swift Kick, we play 50s, 60s, 70s rock.
See, you could play like an American band or something.
Well, being from Kentucky, we're all about that Southern rock. So,
yeah. So all four of us are old, so we all play old stuff. In fact, the only time we actually ever played my song was 2 weeks ago when we played in Rhode Island, because we got invited to that festival because the guy is a fan of the song.
How could you not
okay, guys, we got to play the song. I said, okay, fine.
How could you not have Sal Polichetti at your show and not play Jesus Is a Friend of Mine? I mean, it's kind of a given, isn't it?
I don't know. I guess I don't know. I'm just, and I never really understood the attraction for the whole, especially in England. I never really understood it. But when the Scapones toured America in 2018, and I sat in with them on their last gig of the tour and played their whole set with them. A year later, Paul wrote a book about the setup of the tour and the aftermath of the tour. In fact, he mentions in the book that when they opened for the Specials a couple of times, the Specials is a ska band. They've been around for over 40 years.
Yeah.
The guy told him, he says, be careful. America is a band killer. He says, a lot of times bands break up or guys leave the band after they go to America. It's not the same. A lot of these ska bands, they work all the time in England because there's tons of ska places. But you come to America and all of a sudden you're living with the guys you're playing with. And it's a different story.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And sure enough, some of the same things happen with the Scapones.
Oh, really?
But he wrote a book explaining the whole tour. So I bought the book figuring I played the last show with them. He's got to mention me in the book. Well, not only did he mention me in the book, he did, and I didn't tell him, he must have researched it. He did like 4 pages on the history of Sonseed.
Wow.
How we started and what we did, and we broke up and all that. And it's like, I couldn't believe it. I mean, but he explained how he found the song, because the song didn't hit anything until 2010.
Yeah. Well, YouTube and all that, right?
On the YouTube thing. He had just bought his first computer in 2010, he said in the book. And two-tone ska, which is that type of Jamaican polka type of ska.
Right. The bump.
Right. Had just started to hit England in 2010. So it just started to get really popular. So when he found the video of us in 1982, he was like, oh my God, here's an American band who wrote two-tone ska in 1982. So I never understood the attraction until I read that.
Well, I'm looking for a clip right now, and there's a preacher that did. I'm gonna have to just search this a different way, but there's a preacher that did a something similar to the whole Sonseed thing. And I don't mean it's ska or Jesus is a friend of mine, but just very dressed up. It looked like a modern day Sonseed video to me.
Really?
They're all in their church Sunday best. Let me find it though.
Yeah, well, and I had to explain to people that Sonseed was not a ska band at all.
Yeah.
It was a contemporary Christian pop band. And
yeah,
I just happened to write a song that sounded like a song I heard on the radio. I didn't know it was called ska. I just liked the tempo. And the song was Too Much Pressure by the Selector.
Which song was that?
That was the song that I had heard.
Oh, okay.
That inspired me to write the way I did.
Well,
and it's the only song I've ever written to this day.
This thing is called God First. It's from The Way International. It's on YouTube. And the guy's pretty good singer and he's a pretty good guitar player. The lyrics leave a little to be desired, but it's good. In my opinion. We got to get through the commercial first. Let me get through this commercial. We got another commercial. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Maybe now. Okay, here we go. Check this out, Sal.
Okay.
I love hot Bible. My mouth waters for the things of God. One taste and to another. Now I'm standing before you. I do those hooked on God's word. All right.
All right, so you get the drift. The lyrics, I love hot Bible. Yeah, I don't know. I might have come up with a better line, I think.
I want to hear that played during a Sunday service. I love hot Bible.
Yeah, well, it looks like he did play it during a Sunday service. It looks like they're a church.
Oh, is that you're talking about that guitar player guy in the suit?
Yeah.
You sent me. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but Sal, you're the innovator. You're the first. They all are just imitating
Apparently.
you, brother. Yeah.
I'm chasing Sal.
Yeah.
And-
Oh,
And you know,
hey, that's
Patrick,
a great. Go ahead.
I have to tell Patrick something. One of the shows I played in Manhattan when I sat in with Rude Boy George, there was another band on there, a satanic ska band, Metascopheles. And Metascopheles, they're a satanic ska band, and they did a song, "Satan Stole My Weed." and of course they knew who I was. So I went up to them, I introduced myself, and they said, "Oh, it's nice to meet you." And I says, "I have to tell you," I says, "Jesus would not have stolen your weed." And he said, "You're probably right."
The devil absolutely would, though.
Not nice guys. But that was their thing. You know, they put makeup on and they were really woo kind of spooky.
Yeah.
But one of the things they recorded, and you can look, if you want to look it up, if you really want to laugh, one of the things they recorded it's a ska version of the Bumblebee tuna thing.
Oh, really?
I love Bumblebee tuna. I love Bumblebee bum. They did a ska version of that. Why? I have no idea, but it's a riot. It's hysterical.
Everybody's got to have a gimmick.
Yeah, everybody's got a hook. That's how you make it work, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you got to have a hook. So, well, you know, the whole ska thing is interesting to me because you got this really happy music. I know we've had this discussion before. You got this really happy music that I can't imagine writing like satanic lyrics to ska music. It just doesn't mix. It's like oil and water, right?
You would think.
Yeah, I mean, is that like Satan's delight? Is that their belief in they just got
it's
like
his guilty
real big
pleasure.
Fish?
Satan's guilty pleasure. My guilty pleasure is Carly Rae Jepsen's Call Me Maybe. Their devils is, Bumblebee tuna ska version.
Oh wow.
It really is a riot.
I'm not making any comments on the band. I don't know them, but I just find it very funny. Sal, you got great stories. I always love talking to you. Oh, you played a gig last week too, right? Because I texted you last week and you're like, I'm setting up for a gig.
That's right. And it's funny. People say, wow, how does Mick Jagger still do it in his 70s? You know how he does it? He doesn't move or set up his own equipment. That's how he does it. Because I lifted something that night that I probably shouldn't have. That's my guess.
Yeah.
Because the next morning I couldn't move the whole upper back, my whole upper back. I pulled something by my right shoulder blade, and I'm fine now.
Yeah.
But 3 or 4 days there, it was rough.
Ugh.
So
yeah, I got a bass player like that.
That's how the old rock and roll guys do it. They don't move their own equipment.
Yeah, at 55, he can look at a stage and pull something. I'm like, what are you doing, dude? What are you doing?
I went and saw Kid Rock and Grand Funk Railroad last night. And
how was that?
Grand Funk was amazing. I'm not a huge Grand Funk fan, mostly because I had to play a lot of it when I was in classic rock radio, so it just burned me out on them. But they sounded great, put on a great show, lights and everything. And then Kid Rock, he said he was 51 and he was running around the stage like he was 20 something years old. And I'm 51,
man.
Yeah. Maybe he's got a bear, Patrick.
Maybe he's got that cocaine bear.
He's got that cocaine bear. So he's running around on stage and he said he was 51. I was like, man, I'm 51. I could not do 5 minutes of that. And, he did run around with a towel all night. He was wiping the sweat from his brow all night, but
he's been in the news a lot lately as of late. So
has he?
Yeah, he's been bashing everybody coming and going that doesn't align politically with him, and I think it's hilarious.
No, okay. Well, It was a great show, and you know, he did get political at points, but for the most part, he wasn't. And it was just a good night and a great crowd. Probably
Good.
the
For the
best
most
crowd
part-
of people I've ever encountered at a rock show.
I mean, maybe Sal will agree, but for the most part, I think that kind of crap should be left off the stage anyway. Just like I don't go to a football game to worry about politics, I don't go to a rock show to worry about politics either. I'm there for your music. So
You're exactly right. That's why, as much as I love Pink Floyd, I would never go see Roger Waters.
See, I just saw Rogers like 2 weeks ago.
Because from what I understand, I mean, like I said, I haven't seen him, but from what people tell me, a lot of his stuff is political, and there's a place for it. And right, if I'm going to be entertained, I don't want to be pelted with that stuff.
Right. No, it just brings down the atmosphere. It kills the entire mood, the excitement to go to a show, and then you get there, and then the buzz in the atmosphere that you're at, and then some dope gets on stage screaming about his left or right views, and it's like, really, dude, just play your chart topper so we can get off with this.
Right.
Just play the hits and mind your own business. Thank you.
Right.
I can tell you, Rogers' entire show was political. There was a political message through the entire show, except for like when he paid tribute to Syd Barrett. At the very beginning of the show, he plays a little recorded clip of himself saying, if you're one of those I love Pink Floyd, but I don't care for Rogers politics people, he goes, you do well to head over to the bar right now. So he warns you going in, this is going to be a political show.
So didn't you go to a boy band concert as of late? Did the boy band get political?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I didn't go to a boy band concert.
I thought you had like a New Kids on the Block ticket or Backstreet Boys tickets.
Oh, I had Backstreet Boys tickets, but I didn't end up going because
I'm so glad you didn't do that.
Yeah, I bought the tickets pre-COVID, and then because my wife wanted to go, and she lives in Colorado, and so she had flown out here to go to the show. COVID hit, and we couldn't go to the show, and they kept rescheduling, and finally they rescheduled to a point where she couldn't make it back out here. And
it's kind of a two-edged sword for me now. I wish you would have gone by yourself, so you've been that creepy old dude at a Backstreet concert, so it give me ammo to make fun of you with. But I'm really glad you didn't, because now I don't have to hang my head when I call you friend.
I did consider going even by myself because nobody wanted to go. I did consider going even by myself, but then I went, it's just too hot, and I'm tired, and I don't want to drive all the way out there. It's, you know, there's a lot that goes into going to a show.
Yeah, especially a boy band show when you're your age and alone.
Yeah.
I'm curious, who was in Grand Funk? How many originals were there?
Well, I think Mark Farner is still in there. I don't know who's original and who's not, but the guy who was singing sounded like the lead singer, so I'm going to assume he's original.
Was the drummer singing?
I think he did a little. I don't know, because I was way in the back.
Oh, because Mark Brewer was the drummer. He did a lot of the singing.
Okay, so who was Mark Farner? I thought Mark Farner was.
Mark Farner was the guitar player.
Okay.
So they didn't hire any foreigners, right? So they're still an American band?
They're still an American band.
And that's funny. My band opens with American bands when we play.
It's such a great rock anthem, and they closed with it. And of course, the crowd went crazy for it, and
that was an epic joke, and this is the most I get is they closed with the song. That was an amazing joke, and you let it go, Dave.
I know. I caught the joke. I try. It was an okay joke.
It was amazing.
I'll give you a hug later, man.
No, don't. Not with your Backstreet shirt on.
So yeah, they Grand Funk was great. They were great.
Now, the reason I asked is because I had to be 6 or 7 years ago. I went to a rock and roll fantasy camp.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. And what they do is they set 8 musicians up in a band, 2 drummers, 3 guitar players, a bass player, a keyboard player, and a singer.
Okay.
And the whole point is you do a show at some nice venue, and you do like 15 minutes, and you're assigned an instructor. who was there? Lita Ford was from the Runaways, was doing one of them.
Wow.
Mark Hudson, the producer, was doing one of them. And our instructor was Bruce Krulick, who was in Kiss for years.
Yeah.
Well, he also plays with Grand Funk Railroad every now and then.
Oh, does he really?
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
why I was curious if
I don't think it was Bruce. I know who Bruce Kulick is. I don't think I don't think it was Bruce. These guys looked like they'd been around, and I know Bruce has been around, but you know what I mean? Yeah, these guys look like Grand Funk, like you would expect Grand Funk Railroad to look.
Oh, okay.
That's what I think. I don't know. But if I did see Bruce Kulick, that's really cool. I haven't seen him live before.
Great guitar player, hell of a nice guy.
Yeah, and I do remember a story that Gene Simmons told about playing with Bruce. Was he's such a technical guy that Bruce filled in for Ace Frehley after Ace left the band. So
yeah,
and Ace, he walks around on stage. He doesn't really run around or do any crazy stuff except shoot pyrotechnics out of his guitar. Right. But and part of the reason is he was wearing platforms and he was usually drunk on stage, and so he'd fall over a lot. So but Bruce was so stiff because he was being technical and wanted to be perfect, that he wasn't interesting to watch. Yeah. And so Gene's like, dude, you got to loosen up a little bit. It's a rock show. You got to move around. It's okay if you play the wrong note, you know. That he had to give him that talk. But I think Bruce is a great guitar player and a great guy.
He is.
I promise you. Go ahead, Sal.
Go ahead. No, I said he did get invited to the wedding also.
Oh, nice.
You know, they're with him and Shannon Tweed.
Awesome.
Nice.
So, did they show up?
Oh yeah. No, he cool. Got invited to he got invited to their wedding. Oh, they showed up. Yes.
Oh. What were you going to say, Patrick?
So I just want to be completely 100% transparent. If I wasn't a Christian and not in a Christian rock band, that would completely been like Gene staggering around, falling down drunk on stage. Just saying. the me from 10, 15 years ago would have completely been that guy.
Yeah.
Just saying.
He's got Ace Frehley has a song called Trouble Walking, which I like that song. You know that song, Sal? Trouble Walking?
No, I don't.
Well,
I don't either, Sal. So
the chorus goes, I am trouble walking. But because I knew of his problems, when I heard the album for the first time, I really thought the chorus was singing, I have trouble walking. And I would sing that along every single time because I was like, well, he does. He falls over on stage a lot because of those platforms and his alcohol abuse.
Yep.
All right. Well, talk about jokes and getting a laugh. Sal, thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate it, brother. I always love talking to you. I always love talking to you.
Anytime I'm available, just give me a buzz.
You got anything you want to plug? You got any gigs or dates coming up?
No, we're playing in a couple of weeks. We're playing at a local. We have a sort of a residency at a local pub. We play there every 6 weeks. We play there.
Oh, nice.
And we just got our dates for next year, so I guess they want us back.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, but that's in a couple of weeks, and then I'm going to London. Then we're playing back there again.
And what's the name of your band?
One Swift Kick.
One Swift Kick. But you do the classic rock covers.
Yeah, we've got some stuff on YouTube if you want to just look us up.
Well, I do want to give a shout out to the Scapones because we do play that version of the Jesus is a Friend of Mine at the end of our show.
That's the one.
No,
the new recording.
That's Pretty Boy Floyd.
Rude Boy George.
Rude Boy George.
Rude Boy George.
See, I am just horrible with names. I do this every single show. If I don't make a note, see, Patrick's just nodding his head like, yeah, he's encountered it before. So I'm sorry. Rude Boy George does the cover of Jesus is a Friend of Mine, and we use that to end the show. So it's bookended with your version at the beginning, their version at the end. And so I do want to say thank you for allowing us to do that.
Not a problem. Not a problem at all.
All right. Well, Sal, thank you for coming on, and we'll talk to you in the next month or two. Or if you get something big coming up, hey, shoot us some video of England next time you go
I was
over.
about to say he's literally going to England. It doesn't get
Yeah.
much bigger, Dave.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. I could live there, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe when my wife retires, we'll talk about it.
Not a bad idea. Well, thank you for coming on, and we'll talk to you in the next couple of months.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Have a great day, Sal.
You too, Patrick. Take care of
See
you
you, Sal.
too.
Later,
Bye.
man.
It's the Rock Salt MUZKAST experience with Aaron, Dave, and Patrick.
Hey, Pete.